are off and we are going, and we are picking up right where we left off last stream. Actually, not quite right where we left off. I did take care of a couple of things in the interim. Number one is I undocked our unnecessary crew vessel. So there is our space plane that brought our crew up there. I ditched that. Unfortunately, I never knew this, but there is no probe body on that crewed vessel. So as soon as I undocked it, it kind of tumbled away. So it's a little bit out of control. I'm hoping that it'll be fine when we return to it, because that's their ride back down to the surface when, you know, a year and a half from now. And this is the booster that was attached that brought up this lander. I took all the liquid fuel out of it and then detached it. It also is just tumbling kind of aimlessly. Does it look like our cockpit is askew? I don't know. Or the cockpit down here, maybe. Could be that. Anyway, and I also set up, because as soon as I undocked everything, I lost my ejection burn out to Duna, so I reestablished that. And in fact, yeah, I need to make that a priority, because that's coming up in less than half an orbit. So we're going to do ourselves a little bit of an avoidance maneuver, because I do not want to worry about running into all of this stuff here. So I'm pointing myself in a prograde direction. I was planning on actually doing the avoidance maneuver with these two guys, but unfortunately, once I detached them, I realized both of them are uncontrollable. So that's not well thought out on that end. But what we're going to do here is point this guy into a prograde direction. I'm going to put on RCS. Now, the only RCS is in the lander, so this isn't going to provide a whole heck of a lot of thrust here. But I just want to raise my apoapsis. Oh, I turned RCS off. Just a tad. So I'm just going to push a little bit here. We actually, thankfully, have a lot of monopropellant. That should honestly be enough. And what that will do is slow... Did I do it the wrong way? I might have done it the wrong way. This is going to slow me down. The burn is prograde. I want to... Oh, well. Yeah, no, I did it the wrong way. Oh, my gosh. We are all... This is not encouraging. I just did it the wrong way, because this will slow me down, which will ensure that these two guys will still be ahead of me. What I should be doing is going the opposite way, retrograde, which will speed me up by the time I do half an orbit. Oh my gosh. Well, we're off to a good start. Filling people with confidence as we burn the wrong way. To be honest, it probably would have been okay, because we will end up higher, but I'll do this right. Okay, trying again. So what I want to do is undo what I just did, bring down that apoapsis, and actually bring down that periapsis then too. Oh, I see. It's a little... Well, I'm hoping that'll all work out. We'll find out soon enough. We will find out soon enough whether that'll all work out. Let's lock on to the maneuver node and get ready. Oh, I still got RCS on, and it is... I didn't toggle off the actuation toggles. Oh, yeah. That shouldn't have been going there. So I'll have to fix that up. Okay, speaking of things that I fixed up, the burn's still 9 minutes away, so we'll be okay. And I'm gonna hand over control to KOS once I do all this kind of stuff. But just to do a few kind of bookkeepy type of things on my Discord. And this was recommended by one of my admins. Is on my Discord, we've been having among other things, a screenshot of the week. And the suggestion was, why don't you recognize these at the beginning of the live stream? And I thought that was great. So we've had 2 of them thus far. So we will put them out there. The first one here was for a launch. So I'll stick up our launch one. There is our winner of our best launch screenshot. sent in by Bravo. Thank you very much. That is great. And then our second week challenge was a stage separation of some kind, and this is the one that got the top vote, so it was close, by Sam CG14. A nice Artemis booster separation there. So that, our recognition of our 2 winning screenshots, and I'll do that with each of the streams as weeks progresses. We are now in a new challenge, and I just got to get Windows back. And if you want to become part of these challenges, all you got to do is go to my Discord. It's completely free. No obligations on people other than you got to treat each other nice. That's the only thing. So congratulations to our screenshot winners. What else has happened in the interim? Somebody pointed out, some eagle-eyed viewer, that my HAB module, which does have a water recycler, was recycling the water and then dumping it. You can change the dumping. It was dumping the water it was recycling. That's not good. I don't want to dump the water that we recycle. That's clearly no good. So I made it so it wasn't dumping that water. Also, what came up in the comments and chat is to disable this habitat that we aren't using right now. This is the lander, and its job is going to be to go land on Ike, but clearly we're not going to need this for the next while. So what we're just going to do is we're going to shut down that habitat. I think... Can I just... I should have looked at this. Is there just a shut down the habitat button, or do I just shut down the... I thought there was a shut down the habitat button. So many buttons. Communication, inventory, science doesn't matter. Sensors don't matter. I mean, I can turn off the scrubber and the pressure control. Maybe that's it. I guess that is it. I'll have to just remember to make sure to turn them back on again when we get there. I thought there was a complete shut down the habitat button so that I don't have to worry about... And nobody's in there, right? Like all... I did move them all out. We have Jebediah up here in the cupola module. We have Bill and Bob and Valentina should all be in that hitchhiker. They should all be here. Bob, Bill, and Valentina are all there. Yes. Okay. So other than that, just I did my sloppy avoidance maneuver. Hopefully that's going to end up working out. This thing, by the way, is doing pretty good as far as DV goes. Now that it's on its own, it has 3,643 meters per second of vacuum delta. Actually, sorry, that's counting that. Is it counting... oh no, on this stage it's 3,525. Don't want to count the lander in there. And that should be good because I have budgeted 3,330. So that's over what I budgeted despite all the efforts it took to get to this situation. And in addition, there is actually, I was a little concerned for monopropellant, and then I realized in the cupola module there was more I have a lot of monopropellant, so I don't have an issue that way. But anyway, why don't we get this show on the road? So we're going to time warp to just ahead of our maneuver. I think I completely messed up my avoidance thing. I'm going to do a quick save in case this goes really badly. And now we're going to run the X-Man script. I did a very, very poor... Because I think we're okay. I think it's sort of, but you can see our stuff. This is supposed to be behind us. We shouldn't be seeing this. Oh, and we'll get, yes, there's the gravity ring. We will extend the gravity ring and turn on the greenhouse once this maneuver is taken care of. You know what? Why don't we put this on to our free view? Because I think it always looks better that way. And... we are fine. We're pointing nowhere near these guys, so we're good. What mod is the gravity ring from? The gravity ring is coming from, I believe, Kerbalism itself. Same thing with the greenhouse. I've not got installed a whole lot of part mods. I was pretty minimalistic because I do like building things that can more or less be built in stock. But the gravity ring is great because it does, actually I should keep track of my Kerbals, but my Kerbals should be in very high spirits because they do have, well, once I get this thing up and spinning, we do have this. Half an orbit isn't enough for an, oh, we're off. We are off. And this is going to be a 5-minute and 20-second burn. Because we don't got a lot, but should be good. I'm going to do, I think we're good, so I'm going to do a little bit of time warping. Just make sure. Yeah, see, we're passing below. There goes our space plane. We already passed our, yeah, and there goes our booster that we left behind. So we're off. Looks like we're going to be just missing the moon. It almost looks like we're doing a moon transfer here, but we're not, and I didn't see a moon encounter. There we go. We'll go to 3 times speed. Speed that up a little bit. Yeah, we're not going to be far off from the moon, but I don't see a moon encounter, so that should be good. What's the best way to get science in the early game? I'm just a big fan of... There are people that really talk about going around the KSC because each building and some parts of those buildings are their own biome, so you can go around the KSC and collect all that kind of stuff, but you do need some kind of vehicle to do that, and be honest, by the time you get that, usually I find I got bigger and better places to go to. I think just do a moon orbit. It's not that hard to do a moon orbit. You'll be and do EVA reports over all of those biomes, or put yourself into a Kerbin orbit and collect EVA reports over all of those biomes. You can also use the plane, fly to different biomes. Get yourself to different places is really what I would say as far as getting science. Okay. Now I am seeing a bit of a warning here for the stream. I'm not quite sure what's going on. Hopefully, hopefully everything is fine at people's ends. Oh, well, let's turn down the time warp here because I can see we are coming close to the end of this burn. Alright, so here comes our... We haven't quite ejected from Kerbin's SOI, but once we eject, it's not much to get to Duna. Alright. See it creeping up there. And we'll see how this thing does for its maneuver. Alright. And I'm hoping, the last couple of streams have been going a little slower. Well, last couple of streams, this whole series has been going slower than I was hoping it would. But I'm hoping things will go relatively quickly after here because we've got ourselves our vehicle. Okay, let's see here. So, we do not have our encounter, so let's add in a little bit more thrust here. Well, that's good. And let's I should have focused our view on Duna right from the get-go. It ended a little early, but that's okay. Let's do a little more here. And cut. I'm super duper happy with that. That is absolutely wonderful. Okay, and I have a alignment. Run align. I think I called it dorsal. Yeah. So this is for lining up the solar panels. Let's turn on our greenhouse. So enable that greenhouse. There we go. All of our lovely plants. I'm curious if I should be pointing this thing at the sun once we are. It says excessive radiation. Oh, we're in radiation. Oh, let's turn this off. Let's wait till we're out of the radiation belt. Might not like that. And let's enable this habitat. Now, it takes, you can see it extending outwards, but then it's got to start inflating the ring, and it takes about 40 days for that inflation to happen. So we'll obviously be doing some time warping, but that should take care of that. And we'll wait until we're out of our radiation belts. If I go back to our ship, here we are, and I put on 0. These are the radiation belts that are around Kerbin, the Van Kerman belts, as it were, and probably the plants don't like that, so we'll keep it all shielded until then. All right. Otherwise, is this thing finished? It's taking its time. As it sets itself up. All right. Oh, I see people talking about what first interplanetary target for a land. I'm a big fan of Gilly. Other people are laughing about Gilly. I love Gilly. I think Gilly's a fine target. Eve is the easiest planet to get to. And to be honest, I'm not a... this is wrong. I'm just realizing this. Okay, so I didn't do a very good job with the solar panels. I gotta roll this 90 degrees. But yeah, Eve is the easiest planet to go to. Gilly is pretty easy, though perhaps a little frustrating for people, but I'm a big fan of Gilly. I like Gilly. For a first landing, it's pretty easy. You more or less dock with it than you do anything else. Okay, we got to get ourselves out of the radiation belts. That's our primary goal here. Then we'll turn on that. Okay, we are out of the radiation belts. Now let's try putting on the greenhouse. Okay, greenhouse is lit. Let's put this on orbital. And I didn't get that radiation warning this time. Now what I'm curious about is right now... Okay, I'm actually fully charged. It's not surprising, but do we have... It doesn't talk about electricity here anywhere. Well, we're fully charged. I guess it's okay. Electrical charge is perpetual. Oh, here we go. I'm just curious if this greenhouse is using up a lot of electricity. And I don't really see that it is. Okay. I was wondering if I'm supposed to point the windows at the sun. Like this. Oh, look at this greenhouse growing. Nice. Oh, natural lighting. So if I open this up, do I improve the amount of natural light? You know what? I don't think it's taken into account that I have to do this. I'm noticing the amount of natural lighting is still the same. It's 1,359.7 watts per square meter. I'm so happy to see proper electrical units. And that seems to be independent of how I have this oriented. So I don't think it does make you have to put the windows out towards the sun. That's a good thing. Where are you going? Stop that. It's bouncing back. Alright, so with that, let's get out alarm clock. I'm getting some oscillating happening. Oh, we don't need this alarm anymore. Let's get ourselves out to our SOI change. Yeah. Let's get out to that SOI change, so... Oh, there goes our... Oh, that took a lot less than 40 days. And there it goes. It's rotating. Ooh, let's take a look. I thought... Why did I think 40 days? That took a lot less than 40 days. Oh, I put the Ike. No. We're good. No. We're good. Okay. So there we go. We can see our gravity ring. We can see it rotating. That's very, very cool. You know what I'm going to do? What I want to do is take a look at this rotation and actually figure out how many G's that's pulling, because if you know this radius and you measure the rate of rotation, you can figure out how many G's that is. That feels pretty fast. I would think I would be nauseous in there for sure. But let's transfer a Kerbal over there. Bob will be our guinea pig. Come here, Bob. Okay, you want to do it that way? Fine. So transfer crew, Bob, and I want to put Bob in the gravity ring. So Bob's in there getting himself some gravities. And let's go into cockpit view. So this is Jebediah. This is somebody, this is the hitchhiker. Oh no, I have no internal view. Oh, that's too bad. I was hoping to get an internal view. No internal view. And where did Bob go? Sorry, where did Bob go? You don't even see Bob here. Oh, that's because there's no internal view. Okay, Bob's going back in the hitchhiker. Sorry, I can't deal with that. We'll pretend they're going in there. That's a little disappointing. Okay, so that's all good. And I'm looking at our habitat. Look at that. Ideal. I have an ideal level of comfort and the ideal amount of living space for my Kerbals. They are happy, 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 happy Kerbals. Okay. Let's keep going. Now, I do want to keep an eye on their radiation levels. Make sure they don't get too high. I know one trick for dealing with radiation is to turn the vessel so that the aft end of it is pointing towards the sun. That might become necessary later. Then you have the whole length of the ship shielding your Kerbals. Alright, and we are just about out. Oh, SOI change. And we got to make ourselves an orbital correction. I really, really, really want to get this done today. That is my goal. Alright, we are now orbiting the sun. I should also check, like, we should be doing all kinds of experiments. Yep, running gravity scans, running the flight experiment, telemetry reports. Anything that's stopped is because it's, or waiting, it's because it's already been done. I have multiples of some of these things. That's okay. All right. So we are doing some science out here too. That is awesome. Even the, yeah. Okay, yeah, everything's turned on is really the thing I was looking at. Okay. Let's do a mid-course correction. It's time for that correction burn. Yep. And of course we're going to focus our view on Duna. And one thing I can see right away is we're going to have to come to the south here. So put that on the maneuver. And oh good, it's not going to take too much to make this correction. That was just a few meters per second right there. And you can play around with, I always like to jack up the timing and play around with, just really jack up the timing. Whoops, maneuver went away. And just play around with what gets that down the most, but oh, I was already pretty close to the right spot. Fiddling with trivial amounts of numbers, okay. Okay, let's get that down. Now, what I'm really looking for ultimately, of course, is Ike. So I'm going to set Ike as a target. Get this down into the plane. Lost my maneuver again. Whoops, that was a little much. And it's looking like when we're coming through here, we're going to be missing Ike by a lot. That's okay. Sometimes you can get a gravity assist with Ike that really, really helps. Because Ike is such a big body and it's going so fast, because it is in a pretty low orbit about Duna. But it doesn't look like that really is going to be in the cards, because looking at these two... And I don't want to come around this side. Oh, here's an Ike encounter here, but that has me going through Duna first. That's not a good idea. I'm not going to be doing any aero braking. This craft really isn't designed for that. And if I come around this way, I'm now retrograde relative to Ike's orbit. Orbit's a word. So, I definitely don't want to be doing that. So what we're going to do is we're going to just come in, do this standard like, just like that. That was just, by the way, radial that I was using to adjust that. I want to minimize this inclination. 2.3 is certainly fine. And what's 50 kilometers, I think, is the height of the atmosphere around Duna? I think so. Oops, that's the wrong way. So 80, 81. That should be safe. And boy, these are tiny adjustments. 1.9, 1.6. I'm looking at the inclination. 1.3. Whoops. Ah, shoot. I went to zoom out. And I ended up mistakenly... well, this is perfect. Right about there. That's great. 81. I am super happy. So the plan is going to be to get this capture around Duna. It'll be an elliptical capture so that the apoapsis will be around where Duna is, or around where Ike is, and then we'll have to wait for an Ike encounter. All right. Rescue mission when? Oh my gosh. If given that there's life support involved, these guys can't hang around for years waiting, so that isn't going to be in the cards. A rescue mission. Okay, this is a 1 second burn, which we're going to do this manually, but I'm going to turn down the thrust limiters. Let's turn them to 25%. Of course, I have to do all of them. So that this burns a little longer. 4 second burn. Let's turn them to 10%. And I'm going to do this one manually. I'm not going to use KOS. Also, I noticed when I was RCSing that I don't think I turned off the... If you go into control and go to the show the actuation toggles, you should toggle off the yaw, pitch, and the roll because you don't use RCS for that. Unfortunately now, I'm going to have to do that for all of these thruster blocks. So there's some here. Actuation, yaw, and this saves you monoprop. I clearly didn't notice that before. Usually I do this in the VAB, I just obviously forgot. Well, I forget lots of things, let's face it. Yaw, pitch, and roll. Okay, I think there's only 3. Do I have 3-way symmetry on those? And we're... Oh, yes, that's right, because the other 3 are down here somewhere? Didn't I have thruster blocks on? Oh, I see them. They're hiding under the landing legs. Good design, Mike. What are you even thinking about? I should probably extend these landing legs then. Oh well, whatever. We'll worry about it later. So landing legs have to be... Close that. Landing legs have to be occluding stuff. Get rid of that alarm. Oh my gosh. Okay, get rid of the yaw, pitch, and the roll. They're just hiding underneath here. Yaw, pitch, and roll. Like, unless you're going to really use RCS for attitude control, which I very rarely do, because the reaction wheels in this game are so strong, I would always disable those. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Let's tuck alarm clock up here. All right. Did they remove the 5-port RCS blocks? No, they didn't. Do I have them on here? I can't tell. They're so small. Where's my... Nope, they're the 5 one. These are this is the 5 one right here. So they're still there. Okay. F5 again. I don't know how many times I quick saved. Let's get to that maneuver in 146 days. Yep. So let's do that. We are off. Oh, what happened? Oh, we're getting messages for coronal mass ejection. You know what I'm going to do? That's actually good to know. The sun's about to send some fun our way. So what we're going to do is, I'm completely pointing this the wrong way. Oh my god. Oh, because I have my fingers in the wrong spots. Oh my gosh. We're going to point this, just point it radially out. That's all I got to do. Just getting ready for the coronal mass ejection, and to be honest, that's probably just a good habit to just keep it that way. Kerbalism does model the orientation of the ship when it comes to the radiation exposure for your Kerbals. And if you put the whole ship, the whole aft end of your ship between you and your Kerbals, that does shield them from radiation. So we'll just do that. We are still generating all kinds of electricity, so that's good. That should be good. Okay. Let's get to the maneuver. Yeah, our coronal mass ejection's hitting us. It's going to last for 4 hours and 43 minutes. Oh, we just transmitted some magnetometer science. Just going to keep it this way. Let's keep it locked on the radially out. Another coronal mass ejection coming our way. Kerbalism does love its coronal mass ejections. Oh, radiation's at 10% of a lethal dose already? That's not encouraging. That is not encouraging at all. The shielding should be good. Oh boy. Don't like that. Don't like that. Look. Oh man. I keep time warping and I keep getting these coronal mass ejections. I'm already at... You know what I'm going to do? And I know this feels like cheating, but we're only 38 days into this mission. And I'm already at 14% of a lethal radiation dose because of these coronal mass ejections. And we're getting them like every few days. So I'm going to see if I go into the settings. And I know I'm hoping... people will forgive me on this one, but the rate they're going to be very, very dead. I should be able to adjust that rate of those coronal mass ejections. Average storm duration. Average storm duration is 2 hours. Average storm radiation. Storm probability is 11%. I'm going to turn it down to 0. I don't want it. I'm sorry if that is going to bug people, but I don't want my Kerbals to die. And if you want to put an asterisk next to this, then that's fine. I'm seeing lots of uppercase stuff in there, so we'll see. Right now I'm more concerned about radiation than I am about the lander. Okay, let's see how this works. I might have to reboot this for this to work. All right, what did people... we lost our lander? What happened to the lander? Okay, let's go back. Okay, I gotta revert. I'm gonna revert to that last save. This might turn into more... Okay, the lander's there, but... Okay, there it goes. Did I click on... How did that happen? Okay, let's get back on this lander right now. How did that happen? We're going to have to reevaluate. Control from here. SAS on. Did I click on it somehow? Oh, I got the... I got to toggle that torque. I have no... There we go. Okay, let's rectify this situation right now. How did that happen? Lost that lander. I don't understand that. Okay, we need to... Okay. So what... I'm looking at the chat. How did the lander come... Did I click on a docking port or did it just come loose? If this is going to be a problem, I might have to strut this puppy down. I do have some extra struts aboard. So, bugs in KSP? No. I've never had that happen, though. Never had that happen. Oh, people are blaming it's an 11-year-old game. Oh, this game's been buggy, like, from the get-go. Okay, I do have to watch out for my solar panels. I gotta come a little bit more sideways before I can go in. There we go. Now forward. Forward, ho! Did I finger the stage button? But I don't have the docking port in the staging, so I don't see if I stage anything, if that would have made a difference. That was interesting. Well, I mean, we got it, so there we go. Alright, that is that.